What's up, y'all? Another episode of Shoe Booty Sports coming at you Tuesday night. This is your host, Graham Powell. Had to swallow my Sprite there for a second. Host, Graham Powell, co-host, Bradley Brown. Say what's up, Brad. I
What's happening?
was gonna say, are we on that long of a delay there? Left
No,
us hanging there for a sec. But cool.
I had a mini stroke. Sorry.
That's all right. Well, we're both off to a good start then. Quick shout out to our sponsor. Ladies and gents, Shoe Booty Sports is presented by Rhino Races. Rhino Races is a virtual race series that offers 5 different races: a 5K, 10K, a half marathon, a marathon, and the Rhino Ultra. Visit rhinoraces.com for details. You can sign up there on the website, sign up for one or all 5 of their races there at rhinoraces.com. How it works is you sign up for one or all 5 of the races, run your race at your convenience, track your run with your fitness app, whatever fitness app you choose, screenshot your results, submit that screenshot of your results there at rhinoraces.com under the submit results section. Once your results are verified by Rhino Races staff, your reward will be shipped to you by mail, free shipping on all orders. Again, rhinoraces.com. Also, be sure to check out their gear section. They have t-shirts, wristbands, decals, and more. Again, rhinoraces.com. You can find us, Shoe Booty Sports, on Spotify, Apple, and Google Podcasts. Check us out on the Wisdom app. Subscribe to the YouTube channel and follow us on Twitter at Shoe Booty Sports. So we'll start a little bit on the Hog basketball game that we just watched, the tail end of. It's hard to remember a basketball game, a college basketball game, at least on a Tuesday night. Of course, you know the ones usually on Saturday. You're like, yeah, I'm gonna watch the Razorback game today, being Saturday. But it's Tuesday night. You get off work, you come home, and you're like, I gotta do whatever you got to do, grown up stuff. And then you're like, oh, there's a basketball game on. Just turn the TV on. I wouldn't have known it had I not turned the TV on and the game were already on. But it was interesting. They played UNC something with a G. I can't even remember. Can't even
I
remember
think
who
it
it
was
was
just
now.
UNCG.
It might have been. I mean, it might have been for all Greensboro, maybe.
Maybe. I mean, I honestly had never seen the logo or that combination of letters. So
I might have like in passing at some point in my 38 years on the planet, but not enough to remember it, obviously. But it was a close game up until the very end. They ended up winning by what, 7-5, 7, something like that.
7 points. But what were they? 4-5 or 5-4? I mean,
I think 4-5, something like that. And Arkansas being 7-1 coming into it, the number 9 team in the country.
we're down
That
by what, 5 at half?
Yeah, only scored 21 at the half. Only scored 21 in the first half. I want to say with like 10 minutes left in the second half, it was like the Hogs had like 43 or something. Like it was ridiculous. Like I'm glad I missed the first half.
Yeah.
It sounds like we didn't miss much other than
No.
just a bad performance.
Yeah, because I tuned in with what, 5 minutes left, I think. So, and was shocked at the score that I seen because we were only ahead by one. I think it was like 41-40. It's
I
like
turned the
what
T yeah,
what happened?
I turned the TV on and it was halftime. And Anthony Black was like going to the locker room looking discouraged. And he didn't have his, he didn't that was his worst game I've seen him play as a Hog. And then this is one of our best players, arguably our best player. And he didn't have a good night. Just poor decision making, passing, etc. Devo Davis, man, I like the guy. I'm glad he's on our team. I cringe every time he shoots the ball though. Every time he shoots the ball, I cringe because it's usually not going to go in for one. But Devo the last 2 tournaments, NCAA tournaments, Devo has played excellent,
Yeah.
especially as a freshman. He was excellent in the NCAA tournament. He was good last year. It's like the bigger the game, the more he shows up. But he just, yeah, in the regular season and definitely this year, I just cringe every time he shoots the ball. Like he's always in the gym at like odd hours. He'll be in there like super late, putting in work by himself. But work on your shot more is what I would say because it needs some work. But Arkansas doesn't have shooters either. Nick Smith can shoot, but he didn't have a great night either. I mean, he ended up with about 20. I think he had 17 toward the end of the game. Might have ended up with about 20, but so he's definitely got the potential to be our best player. I could see why he is considered that. But yeah, it was they didn't look like the number 9 team in the country tonight. I think that's safe to say.
Oh yeah, very safe to say that was.
Especially when you look down and see the Houston score of whoever they were playing, the same type of caliber team. It was like 43-12 or something at some point in the game. Like I looked down, I saw that stat line. I was like, yeah, okay, that's the number 1 team in the country. That's a top 10 team or the number 1 team in the country. Arkansas being just 8 spots behind them, and you're squeaking out one against a 4 and 5 UNC. I don't even know team, not North Carolina. So I don't know. Like there's Houston, there's Texas, and we all know. Well, Razorback fans know what Arkansas did against Texas in that exhibition. It was like a 30-point blowout loss to Texas. So you that top kind of three, Houston, Texas, and then Virginia, they just all kind of seem on like they're up here, and Arkansas's at 9, but they don't feel at 9. They feel closer to like 25 rather than 9. But yeah, it's you're not I don't know, you're not gonna play your best every game, obviously, but I mean they found a way to win. We'll throw the positive spin on it that way. I didn't see Brazil play tonight though. I didn't see Trevin Brazil play.
I think I seen somewhere. I think I seen on Twitter where he left before halftime. Like, so hopefully he's all right. So, but I have no clue. That's just what I seen on Twitter. So we all know how that goes. But yeah, you were right with the UNC G. The G is for Greensboro.
Nailed it.
So
Yeah. Well, dead clock's right twice a day. So yeah, I mean, I saw it on the screen, but I couldn't remember it. And plus, once you get past
sure.
the UNC and then it's just a G on there because you can't fit Greensboro there on the jersey unless you find a way to put it underneath. Which why would you do that? I don't know. I don't design the jerseys, but anyway, Hogs get a win there. We'll jump to college football, and we're going to spend a lot of time on this. Coach Prime to Colorado. What do you think of the hire? How big of a hire is it for Colorado? And what's the move? How would you grade the move by Coach Prime? First of all, it's a home
Oh, with
run
his
hire.
speech. Yeah.
Yeah, well, the speech was great. We'll get to that, but
Yeah.
it's an absolute home run hire if you're Colorado.
Yeah.
I first thought he's not going to take that job, is he?
Yeah.
But
I
I
didn't
mean
think it
that
was serious, but
but that might have been the I don't know if that would have been the best offer or not. Maybe at least right now. I don't know why teams or programs would be hesitant to hire him. You see what he's done at Jackson State. He's all over television. He's all over TV as the Jackson State coach. Doing interviews on 60 Minutes, etc.
yeah.
Getting getting like what the number 2 recruit in the country at the time to come to Jackson State over Alabama. I mean, come on, man, that's enough for me. Goes 11-0 this season, wins the SWAC conference or
Yeah.
whatever it is, and yeah, and then takes a Colorado job. And they don't even have like they've even come out and said we don't have the money to
They
pay
didn't
him
have the
yet.
money. Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm sure they'll figure it out, especially once they start winning. Some
They
alum there
they're gonna
has
have to.
to.
Yeah, they're gonna have to figure out that money because they got to pay their players. So
And the coach first and foremost. But it was what is the deal? Like $5 million or something? I heard that number tossed out there.
yeah, it's 5 and some change per year. So
I mean,
yeah, it's a pretty good
that's a pay
step up for
bump.
him. So what do you think? I mean, what do you think's his ceiling at Colorado? Because it
I
is not as high as they have said it. I don't think so, anyways. But
well, not right off the bat. He can get there
he
quicker because
he can
of the
probably get there
transfer portal.
quicker.
He's already got a top 20 recruit committed, a wideout. like already.
Mm.
So he's getting, and he said, I've, as he put it, I'm bringing my own luggage, and it's Louis, as in Louis Vuitton. So his son's going to be the quarterback. That's, I mean, he said he's going to have to earn it, but I mean, he's,
Well, their starting QB entered the transfer portal like 4 hours ago, so it's his.
and it was a 1-11 football team that wasn't competitive. It's, yeah, it's his job. Uh, yeah, it's Dion's going to bring in his own guys, and he's clean. You can clean out house. You can clean house quicker in this day and age in college football as opposed to 10, 20 years ago when you
Hmm.
really did need that 4 years to get your own players in. But you can bring in your own guys a lot quicker now. And he basically said, I mean, the speech was as real as it could be. He just came in and said, he said what he said. Go look it up. You haven't seen it. We don't have to rehash it here. It was excellent, by the way.
You're not even gonna quote the main line, huh?
Oh, you can go for it.
No, you done around it. We'll let the viewers wait.
Okay. Well, now I feel like you have to quote the main line.
Not
I said the
gonna
Louis.
do
I
it.
said the Louis one. I don't even know which one you're talking about.
I'm coming.
Okay.
He only,
Is that
he
is
only
that
said
the
that
main?
like he only said it like 60 times during the like that was his pause break. Instead of like stopping and breathing, he'd be like, "I'm coming."
That was just the phrase. I mean, I guess it was the line. But my favorite was I'm bringing my own luggage and it's Louis. That was my favorite of it. But it was all spectacular to me. My favorite part is basically kicking everybody off the team and then having them say, the whatever he was saying. Like I'm drawing a blank now, but it's having them
Uh,
come out and say it. Do you recall
Oh
what he
yeah, he
said?
basically kicked him off the team, and then he's like, "No, y'all gonna repeat after me." At the end of Adam chanting for
And
him.
he's like, and that's
But
what, and then it's whatever it was.
no, what tripped me out was there's a guy like on the back row wearing a hat, and he was going through his spiel about we are each gonna look the same, no, and no earrings, no hats, no nothing to stand out, and like about 3 seconds after he stated that. That was about as enough time for it to register with that one dude wearing a hat, and you could see him like reach up, take his hat off, and set it down. It's like one person got it, but
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see how well he does. I think he's going to do what he said he's going to do, and that's win. I
oh,
think
he'll make it into a winning program. But
I mean, if we're talking, I don't know what other people are saying about
yeah,
it.
there's people thinking he's gonna like be in the college football playoffs before
Well,
it expands.
well,
Like,
not before it expands, but
yeah,
I mean, it took Saban, gosh, what, 3, 4 years to get to the Natty, get there, and win it. Is that right? Or 5,
I
something
don't
like
know.
that. So I don't know if, I mean, Prime's going to get players though. Like,
Yeah, he'll
and
get
and
players.
and people may say, well, these kids weren't around when you know Dion played. Yeah, but their parents were.
Yeah,
Their parents were, and the Duke could sell ice to Eskimos. I'd want my kid to go play for Prime. Absolutely. I think it's a home run. It's an absolute home run hire. I don't see how you could say otherwise. Home run
especially
hire.
for Colorado. Like,
I'm surprised they got him. Like that's the
yeah,
thing. I'm surprised they got him. I figured some other school would have come in and made another offer. Uh, like like I said, for like a school like an Auburn, I don't. It wouldn't have been like the right fit. It's just too different. It would be too. It just doesn't seem like I don't know, the styles mesh as far as that goes. At least right now, right off the bat. Now winning would change that, of course,
yep.
but I wouldn't have wanted to see him go to Auburn selfishly as a Razorback fan because I wouldn't have wanted to see what he could do with the type of talent he could get there at Auburn, playing the Hogs every year. I would not have wanted to see that. But I don't know, man. It could work. What are they in? Where are they in the Big Ten, Pac
I don't know,
12?
man.
Somebody said the
12
big
maybe.
somebody said the Big 12 today. I was like, what are they in that? I don't know. But I'm going to be paying more attention to Colorado football now. I just because they Colorado wasn't
Google
that
says
bad.
Pac-12. So
Okay. Colorado wasn't that bad. Yeah, I think they left the Big 12 for the Pac 12 several years back. Like them in Nebraska, like Nebraska left for the Big 10 and then Colorado left for the Pac 12, like at the same time. If I remember that correctly, I believe that's right. That was several years ago now. But Colorado wasn't as bad as they are now. Like they were respectable, like when we were in our teens. Like they were a six ish win team, 6-7 win team.
yeah.
When we were, in our younger years. But yeah, they have seriously fallen on hard times since. But I think they got the absolute best coach they could have gotten, uh, times a million on this one.
Yeah.
As far as how they do, I don't know. How well can it go? He's gonna win. He's gonna win games. Now, is he going to be up there with like Lincoln Riley won't be there, I guess, because they're gonna be headed to the Big Ten. So I don't know, man. We'll see what happens. Of course, it could all be one big like three conferences before it's all said and done, by the time they're competitive, really competitive. But I love the hire. I love it for him. I love it for Colorado. You gotta love it if you're Colorado. It's yeah, I don't know what else to say about it other than I believe him. He says I'm coming. I believe him. They're already landing a top 20 recruit. Like he was committed to Texas A&M, this wide receiver, and now he's going to Colorado. So you wouldn't have thought that a year ago had you not known who the coach would be there at Colorado, right? Of course. But yeah, love the move, love the hire. Okay, I guess we can throw it out there. What would the ceiling be? What's the highest you think that he could actually achieve there at Colorado?
uh I don't know. He could. I mean, will they expand in the playoffs too? 12 teams,
I believe so.
or is it 64 yet?
I think it's 12.
Okay.
I think we're still at 12.
Um, yeah. Whenever they expanded to 12, he could probably flirt with getting into the 12 team playoff. But I think it's possible for him to get into one of the major bowls that aren't the playoff. One of the after New Year's bowls or something after 3-4 seasons, maybe. Well, not that soon, but I think he can get there. I think what he's typically going to be is that 8-win team, that 8-9 win team.
Which would be just a complete 180.
Oh yeah, which would be
Uh,
phenomenal. I mean,
yeah, like that's about as
that's
good
what
as
that's
good as
what
it can
we
get.
want. But
I think that's yeah, right. I think that's what he would do before he got hired for another one. Before he left for another school.
yeah,
Because if he does that, another job is going to come calling, a more prestigious gig, and I see essentially that. I think he could get to 8-9 wins, flirt with the playoff, compete for a conference championship. Get them to where they're like 8-9 wins, including like a bowl win. That's how I see it really going. He could he do more, sure, but I essentially predict that yeah, he'll get them to be an 8-9 win team before he somebody with more money and more resources comes along and says, "Hey, why don't you lead this program, take this program to the next level?" So I see that. I see nothing but good things moving forward. Assuming he can stay healthy. You know, he's had his health issues. Looks great for his health issues. I mean, it's
Yeah.
Coach Prime, but despite his health issues, you know, he has to do something. I'm sure he has a pretty solid workout routine, but yeah, despite his health issues, looks like he's doing well. Hope that continues. Hope he does this for a long time, man, for as long as he wants to. All right, so we'll move on now to the Heisman Trophy finalists. Also, the college football playoff top four is set. First of all, they got it right. You know, the top four, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's basically, would you have left Alabama out? That's the decider. And yes, I mean Alabama, a two loss Alabama team that didn't beat anybody really doesn't deserve to get in over an Ohio State who lost to Michigan, undefeated Michigan, and TCU who lost to a good Kansas State team. Like I said, like we said last week, that's just what Kansas State does.
Hmm.
They win the Big 12 championship. Like that's what they do. They may be 8-2 going into the game or whatever it is, but they show up for that game and they find a way to Win it. I don't know how many conference championships they have now, but I can think of 3 off the top of my head. Going back to Darren Sproles and them running all over Oklahoma in 2004, I think it was. To gosh, several years back now, and and obviously Saturday. And that's the thing. It was TCU lost a nail biter. You know, can't punish them. But here's the thing: for what we got it right. If you're Georgia, though, would you have rather played TCU or Ohio State?
Man, probably TCU.
That's what I was kind of
Because
thinking. Like,
Ohio State's pissed off because they got curb stomped at home. They got embarrassed. So
and you've been told how you're a finesse team now for what'll essentially be a
but
month by the time you play them.
I say that I think I've heard of 2 starters already that are declaring early for the draft, so they're not even going to participate in the bowl game for Ohio State. So
Really? Like you're gonna miss a college football playoff game?
apparently,
Wow. I'm curious to see who that is. And if that's true, if so, if
I think it's
so,
a
and I'm a GM, a pro GM, I'm not gonna draft you. Like you're gonna miss the biggest game of the year. I mean, it's not
this
like
is what it's all for. Yeah, it's
you're not playing in the Liberty Bowl. You're playing in in the college football playoff, and you're gonna skip out on that. Can't be right. Where did you see that?
the internet, Twitter.
That
I
cannot
mean,
be right.
from what I mean, we're going off of my memory, so brace yourself. But I want to say it's like a defensive end or something.
I just that can't be right.
I
Fact
mean,
check it real quick. I got to find this out for
yeah,
sure.
fact check it real quick. Yeah, let me get my people on it.
I just can't. I can't see that being real. Like I understand if it's the Tax Slayer Bowl or the Texas Bowl or the Liberty Bowl. Like yeah, I'll sit that out if I'm a potential high draft pick. Absolutely. Like I still don't know that I would sit it out just being old school like that, but I can see why you would. I wouldn't fault you for it. But you're going to miss a college football playoff game because you could be a high draft pick. Come on. Why? Yeah.
Hmm.
But yeah, while you're checking that out, if I'm Georgia, I would rather play TCU. But a lot of people think this could be a real close game, Georgia and Ohio State. I almost kind of, I guess I could see that happening, but I could almost kind of see it. I could see it going 2 ways essentially: Georgia blowing them out, or it being a very competitive game, like a one. like a 1-score game or 10-point win by Georgia. I could really see it going either way. And I guess I'd say if I were to pick one, I'd say it'd be a closer game rather than a blowout. But I really could see it going either way. I don't know that if this finesse type of Ohio State team can match up with the Georgia Bulldogs, who are as physical as can be on defense.
Yeah, it's a wide receiver.
Who's the wide
Nathan
receiver?
Jackson Smith Jigba.
And it's not
I
even Marvin.
probably butchered the hell out of that last name, but
Now is he hurt, or is
no, I don't think
he just
so.
sitting out? Wow, well that's pretty wild. I mean, Marvin Harrison Jr. isn't sitting out from what it sounds like, so Ohio State should have a shot. That
He's
guy's
he might be resting up. He said he missed set out 3 games this year due to hamstring injury, but he played in their last game. So
yeah, I don't know. I just that's weird. That's weird if he actually does that. If not, and it's just a bullshit report, our bad. But yeah,
it's on
I,
Bleacher Report. So
I don't know. That's pretty wild. I just don't see how as a competitor you could do that. Be like Vince Young in the 2005 Rose Bowl against USC, just being like, you know what, I could be a top 10 pick. I don't think I'll just sit this one out. Now he's not obviously the guy's not a Vince Young for Ohio State, but I'm just imagining something like that happening. It crazy, man. All right, so okay, are there other okay, as far as the Heisman finalists go? I like the four. I like the four. All pretty similar numbers. The Caleb Williams is the projected winner, and I think what sets him apart really is his running ability. Now, them losing to Utah, Friday night, which I didn't realize the game was last Friday night. I woke up Saturday morning. I was like, oh, they already played that game on the West Coast. How? And I was like, oh, it must have been
yeah,
Friday. And then sure enough, it was Friday night. But that'll hurt his chances, obviously. But that's the thing. There's not a clear cut, winner this year. I like that Stetson Bennett is in there though. And one thing I saw this week that is making me cringe is just people essentially saying, he's a mediocre quarterback on the best team, which is just absolute bullshit. I mean, the guy can
yeah.
ball. I mean, the guy's an absolute baller. Is he going to be a stud? Is he just like a pro prospect you're drooling over? Of course not. I mean, the guy, what wasn't he a walk on?
Yeah. I mean, he won the Burlsworth Trophy last night. So yeah, he's a walk on.
I mean, the guy can flat out just play football though. And I mean, he makes plays for that team. He's a great college football player. And he's the favorite to win back-to-back national championships. When's the last time that's happened? It's been a hot minute, right?
Yeah, been a while. Is it
I can't even
Florida?
No, Florida never won back-to-back. They won 2 or
They won
3.
2 in 3 years. Yeah.
No, they didn't win back-to-back. The last back-to-back team I can think of was what, McCarron at Alabama?
Uh,
Yeah, it had to be the
yeah.
McCarron Alabama teams. Because he won it like his first 2 years as a starter really. And then they lost I think 3 games in the bowl game, including the bowl game his last year as a starter.
Yeah, 2011, 2012.
Alabama, right? Yeah.
Alabama. Yep.
Yeah, I figured that was right. And before that it was like the USC teams, and one of those got taken away. So in
Yeah.
other words, it's really hard to go back to
Yeah.
back
It
and
was
Stetson.
Nebraska in the mid 90s before Bama.
Yeah, because you can't count SC, I guess, because it got taken away. Yeah. So yeah, in other words, it's really hard to win back-to-back national championships, but Stetson Bennett is the favorite to do it. And in this day and age, which is almost, I would say, more difficult to do. So I'm a big fan of his. The dude can flat out play. And if I'm an NFL team, I'd probably want him on my roster. If anything, just he could just go into the league and be a great backup for the next
Yeah, that's what. Yeah,
for the
that's what I
next
was thinking.
10 to 12 years. Go be Chase Daniel, make $50 million just being a backup. You could easily do that. And if he wins again at Georgia this year, then you can, or heck, you can do that as long as you want, and then go get a broadcasting gig, something there in the state of Georgia, or some sports network, and get paid good money just to be an analyst or whatever. He's essentially, if he plays his cards right, he's a smart guy. He'll be set for life there. So yeah, Georgia's the favorite. As far as the Heisman favorite, I guess it's Caleb Williams. I mean, that would essentially be my pick. I assume. I don't know. I don't really. If he won it, I would be like, yeah, okay, I guess, because I don't watch the Heisman ceremony. It just shows
No,
up on my notification. Like an ESPN notification or Twitter notification will drop and tell me, oh, that's who won the Heisman. I mean, that's how it goes every year. That's how I find out who won the Heisman. But yeah, I guess it would be Caleb Williams. Uh, yeah, but we can touch up on pro football a little bit. A few good things happened, and yeah, okay. One, Bengals beat the Chiefs. I wasn't surprised. I mean, Joe Burrow has essentially he's 3-0 against Patrick Mahomes. And I know
yeah,
it's teams and stuff, but
yeah, yeah. But hell, they beat them 3 times this year, so yeah, it's not
and it was
surprising.
and it was this year too. It was
Yep.
it was technically 2022. Yeah, man. I guess to me, I mean, you can't just come back from an appendectomy and just be right. It took him a while to get into football shape. Took a while for that line to gel, and now the Bengals are starting to look like the team we thought they could be when they made all those offseason moves. So Bengals are coming. Bengals are like prime,
Having
man.
Chase
They're
back
coming.
helped out a lot too.
Yes, that does help too. And yeah, in other so yeah, that's the one game I really watched Sunday. Like I put my computer down, everything else I was doing. I was like, oh, okay, I'm gonna pay a little more attention to this one. And another one I was pretty keen on, the Eagles and Titans game. Man, the Eagles look tough, man. Jalen Hurts impresses me more and more every week. And AJ Brown, and he let everybody on the field, and he let everybody on the field at least know that it was the bad move. It was a bad move to trade him, and of course, pretty much, did it happen today that their GM got fired? The Titans GM got fired.
Yep.
Yeah, so rough week for Tennessee. Well, when they made that move, it made no sense. Like, why
No.
would you trade your best player? Well, not after Derrick Henry, but your best wideout, who's an absolute stud, first team All Pro caliber wideout. You see what he's doing there in Philly. The Cowboys embarrassed the Colts on Sunday Night Football. Who's the best team in the NFC right now? It's kind of up for grabs, especially since Garoppolo's out for the season now with a broken foot. I
Man,
49ers aren't going to win it with the
no.
Brock Purdy, or what is that his name? He
Yeah,
was Mr. Irrelevant in the draft. They're not going to win it with him. Uh, yeah, with Jimmy G out for the year, I mean, the 49ers are, they could be a playoff team, but they won't. They're not going to compete for a Super Bowl. I think it's either the Cowboys
I'd
or
say the
Eagles.
Eagles. I won't even say or. I'll just say the Eagles.
That
Now, if we're
Dallas
talking
defense, though, man.
Dallas defense is good. Now, if we're talking like Dallas, if they sign OBJ, yeah, that could maybe give them a slight edge, but I don't think that's going to be like pay immediate dividends. Like it's going to take a week or two. But
Even with OBJ, I still like Philly's receivers better.
oh yeah,
I mean, they may be the best. That's probably the best receiving tandem in the league, though. Devontae Smith and AJ Brown. I mean, their tight end is good when he's healthy. Like I said, Jalen Hurts is making
I
big
just
time
need
throws
I just
week
need
in, week
Jalen
out.
Hurts to just take it easy this weekend and don't put up his usual numbers because I'm playing against him in fantasy. So
Yeah, good luck with that. But okay, another news. Speaking of fantasy, since my fantasy football team has been just as mathematically eliminated, officially done. I joined yesterday while at work a fantasy basketball league. Had my draft last night. It was yes, it was one of those. It was a super fast draft, by the way. It was like I was in here for like an hour or something, or 45 minutes. Like it was a super quick draft. My my season doesn't start till next week. It says it didn't start till the 12th, like a week later. I was like, well, that's kind of weird, but whatever.
hmm.
So yeah, for the first time since 2017 or 18 or whatever, I think 2018, I'll be in a fantasy basketball league. That's how bad my fantasy football team was. I had to jet out early and just say like, all right, I'm done here. I might as well try another sport.
Fantasy football is wild this year. Like the two leagues I started off so in, I'm now 8-4 in both of them. And the league that I started off 5-0 in, I'm now 7-6.
Yeah, it's
Brutal, dude. I have a chance of missing the playoffs after starting off 5-0.
yeah, it's been wild. But okay, we'll finish up on this. We'll wrap up here. Baker Mayfield going to the Rams. Good or bad move? I mean, I guess it's a good move because
Better
who
than
else
what
do
they
they
got,
have?
yeah. Good
Yeah,
move.
Stafford out for the year. So I could see, if Baker can play, he's gonna do it with the Rams and Sean McVay. If he can't do it with them, he's not gonna be able to do it at all. But lastly, we'll end on this. Tom Brady, once again, showing why he's Tom Brady. Last night on Monday Night Football, another comeback win, just reassuring his status as the GOAT. 3-1 since the divorce. So Brady back. I mean, they're 6-6. They're like 2 games ahead in the
That
NFC
was kind of an
South.
ugly
So
game.
of
Freaking
course it was. But they got the win. Touchdown pass, 3 seconds remaining. Really won it twice if you go back
yeah.
and look at it. Just Brady being Brady. But it's awesome to see. Hopefully the goat's back and finish the year strong. Finish the year strong yet again. Yeah. So
And then
we'll
come back
tick.
next season and go play for the Patriots.
Yeah, or somebody. But
You
until
heard that
yeah,
rumor though.
I did. All right. So we will. I don't know. We'll see what happens. Until then, we're gonna get out of here.
Yep.
Deuces, y'all.
Peace out.